Welcome back to the UFC Pros Pick Show. I am James Lynch. He is James Krause. And of course, we got Nick Kalikas with us here today. Make sure you check out BetDSI and use the promo code UFC. What do you get? You get a match deposit bonus. You get the signed photo of James Krause. It's really the best deal out there right now. And that is the odds we're going to be referencing here today on the preview of UFC Vegas 48. Before we get into the main event and co-main event, got to recap last week. Krause, you're on fire. You know, remember the old NBA Jam game? You're on fire. That was you to a T. All your bets hit. Max Grisham, Bobby Green, and Arlovsky. So congrats on that. Me, not so much. Olberg and Sharon, I don't know what happened in that one. There was no finish there. Andre Arlovsky won. I knew that was going to happen. And then Derek Lewis, I thought for sure, guys, he was finishing Ty in that first round when he started laying those shots. And then I don't know what happened. Ty got like a Terminator chin, came back and finished him. So that parlay got busted with him and Adesanya. At least Adesanya won. But yeah, so didn't hit on mine. But congrats to Krause for getting it done. Let's dig into this new main event. It was supposed to be Rafael Dos Anjos and Rafael Fiziev. Now we get Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill. I love this fight. I love that it's 5 rounds. If you guys haven't had an opportunity, check out on my YouTube channel. I got interviews with both fighters ahead of the matchup. Let's start with you first, Krause. Jamal Hill, minus 250 to come back on Johnny Walker, plus 200 on BetDSI. Who you liking in this fight?
There's no way I can lay that money on it. And listen, guys, this is Jamal Hill, for whatever reason, is one of those guys that, like, I always seem to fade him, and I can't tell you why. Like, I don't know why. He's obviously really good. I faded him in the Crew fight and lost money there. I can't tell you why. He's really good. He's talented. But I think it's just because, like, I don't see, like, a lot of, like, technical know-how. You know what I mean? And for me to lay minus 250 on a fight that, like, Hill will probably end up catching Walker and knocking him out. But I wouldn't be surprised if Walker won this fight at all. Like, if you told me on Monday, hey, Johnny Walker beat Jamal Hill, I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, that makes sense to me. There's no way I'm laying 250 on, not even close. I'm staying away, dog or pass on me and it's like clear cut.
Okay, Nick, what about you? What are you thinking for this main event?
Yeah, the price is what bothers me as well. I mean, right there, market wide, you're seeing minus 240, minus 250 on Hill. I wish the price was lower. If this was around minus 190, minus 200, I might take a stab at Hill because I do think he's got the potential to win this fight, and especially by knockout. But outside of that, man, I think Walker is the more well-rounded fighter. I don't trust his chin as much, and I think Hill should be the rightful favorite, but the price is everything. And at the price, it makes it a difficult bet. I think it's a dog or pass situation where the current line is, but I do favor Hill here. So that's what makes it kind of tough for me.
I see this a little bit differently. I'm a little bit more high on Jamal Hill than you guys are. For me, it's you know, the speed, the striking. I mean, to finish OSP, to finish Jimmy Crute. I had a lot of people, maybe not Krause, but other people being like,
I was on it,
going to win this fight. I wasn't. I was all over Jamal Hill here because he only had the one loss to Paul Craig, who last time I checked submits everyone. And you remember in that fight against Craig, he didn't even flinch. He just broke his arm and was like, it's no big deal. He's a different fighter. There's something about him, and I know what you mean, Krause, about the technique side of things. There's something about him that's like different. I don't know what it is. I can't describe it, but like his movement is so interesting for that weight class. Like he almost moves like a middleweight or even like a welterweight in there.
Welterweight,
and I think, yeah, and that's, I think, going to give Johnny Walker some problems here. A couple things with Johnny Walker that I found out. So I don't know if you guys know, he got COVID again. This was right when the fight was announced. I don't know if it's going to impact him in the fight, but you never know. He got it. He's had it 2 times, so that's just one little tidbit. The other thing is, where is he training? He's training at SBG Ireland. That's one of those camps that I think gets a little bit overflated a little bit, especially with the heavier guys. Like, who's he really working with over there? I think Will Fury and a few other guys. But with Jamal Hill, he's working with, Buckley. He's working with Chaos Williams. There's a lot of good bodies in the gym for him there. And I think that's going to be to his benefit. I just think this fight's going to end up stay standing. And I think Jamal Hill's the better striker here. You remember that fight with Ryan Spann that Johnny Walker had? Johnny Walker was nearly finished in that fight. It was just that he happened to hit Spann at the right time. Spann was throwing leather. That could have gone the either way. I just think that the fear of Johnny Walker that was in his early UFC career, where he's knocking out guys like Ledet and Misha Serkinov, I think that's gone. I think people have figured that out. And Jamal Hill doesn't strike me as the type of guy to be intimidated by Johnny Walker. So you guys are talking about value. I'd play Jamal Hill by knockout. That would be the prop I would do. That's not going to be an official pick this week, but I would do the Jamal Hill inside the distance. It's 5 rounds, not inside the distance, knockout. It's not going to be a submission. I think it would be a knockout prop, and you parlay that with something else on the card. But I'm with you. Minus 250 as a straight bet. It's a little steep for my liking because these guys are both going to throw it, but I just think Jamal Hill's the better fighter. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. So
I agree with you 100%. But Walker's one of those guys that can, he's flipping and he's all over the place. You never know what he's going to throw, and that stuff works sometimes. You can catch people with that. And I've seen him catch people before, and it's really tough for me to bet against Johnny Walker. And on Jamahal Hill. So like I do love the prop though, Hill by knockout. I do think Hill's going to win this fight, and I think he's going to finish this fight too.
I agree with you too. Completely, Lynch. I think if you're going to bet this fight, you bet it Hill by knockout if you're going to touch it, because obviously you're going to get extreme, lot lower as far as the risk goes, as far as the price goes. You're not going to have to lay 250-ish or so. So if you're going to bet it, he probably wins by knockout. That's the way to do it. The other side of it real quick though, I think he's getting better. Walker's improving since he's been in the UFC, since he's fought high-level competition. His conditioning seems to be getting a little bit better. His chin's holding up a little bit better. And I think he kind of turned the corner in that Krylov fight. Krylov is no easy out, and that was a very competitive fight, a lot tougher, I think, than people anticipated for Krylov there too. So I think Walker continues to improve. That's what's going to make this an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it.
And just last thing I'll say, I always bring up strength of schedule, strength of competition. You look at who he's beat. Serkinov, a middleweight now, struggling a lot. Justin Ledet, I don't even think is in the UFC. And then all of them are losses. At least with Jamahal Hill, you can say OSP, as much as he's sort of on the tail end of his career, to finish him the way he did, I thought that was really impressive. So that's just one other reason why I like Jamahal Hill in this fight. And Crute, yeah, exactly. Of course, the biggest win, of course, was the Crute fight, which a lot of people felt like that was 50-50. Okay, co-main event. It's a switch-up. It was supposed to be Kyle Daukaus against Krause's guy, Julian Marquez. Marquez is out. In comes Jamie Pickett. This is a catchweight. I know some people have been wondering about that. I believe this is a catchweight fight as opposed to middleweight, so I don't know who that benefits, to be honest, but it's minus 270 right now for Kyle Daukaus. The comeback on Jamie Pickett is plus 220. Nick, which way are you going on this one as Pickett steps in on short notice?
Pickett's looked good. He's looked a lot better. I mean, I think he's definitely a respectable opponent and a good replacement fighter on short notice, because he's going to give Daukaus a test. There's no doubt about it. But again, price is everything here. I think there is a little bit of value left on Daukaus. On the Daukaus side, I think he should be over minus 300, because I think, again, styles make fights, and I just don't see Pickett kind of beating him anywhere. Maybe if he could keep his space, keep the fight upright, and land some damage along the way on the feet, because I think Daukaus is going to want to be able to take this fight to the floor. His striking's obviously improving as it goes as well. So I just think Daukaus is the better fighter. So maybe you possibly look to put him in a parlay here, because again, minus 270 is a little bit chalky and Pickett continues to improve, but there is a little bit of wiggle room there. So I do like the Daukaus side. That's where the early action is coming as well. The line opened a lot lower. I think it was around minus 220-ish. Now it's approaching minus 300, which I think is about right.
Krause, which way are you going here?
I have to go with Daukaus, man. I think Daukaus is extremely underrated. And I do think that where the difference in this fight is going to be is I think Daukaus is going to play Pickett just fought my guy Joe Holmes. And Holmes is young. He's got 6 fights. But you look at somebody like Daukaus who has 12 fights against some decent guys. He's been in there with Brendan Allen. He's been in there with Phil Hawes. He's been in there with some good guys. He didn't beat either one of those guys. But I did like what I see in the Holland fight, right? I did like that, what I was seeing before what happened. I could see him taking Pickett down and subbing him. I think his work on the fence, all those boys that come out of that Jersey gym, Sean Brayton, all those guys, they're all nasty, and they all work well off the fence. So I think the grappling is going to be the biggest difference here, and I think the clinch on the fence is going to be a really big thing here for Daukaus to get Pickett down. I think Daukaus is going to take this fight down. I think if it hits the ground, it's going to be a big skill difference in my opinion. So I'm going to go Daukaus. I don't mind the price either.
Yeah, I like Daukaus here as well. We're not that far removed from Pickett getting knocked out by Jordan Wright. That was a fight where I don't think people were expecting a finish in that one, considering that Pickett went 3 rounds with Puna Soriano on the Contender Series. But you're right, Nick. I have seen some improvements in Pickett. I just think Daukaus is a better, well-rounded fighter. I think there's more proof in what he's done. He's had a really weird year, right? Like last year with the loss, and then he fought Holland. It was a no contest, and he had this canceled fight. So I think he's due for a breakup performance. I think this is going to be it. Minus 270, a little steep, but maybe you take him by decision. Kyle hasn't finished anyone in the UFC yet. I think that could be a solid play there if you're looking to maybe get a little lower value. But I think as well, this is Daukaus' fight to lose. That's how I see it going. And I think he'll prove his worth on Saturday night in the co-main event. Let's get to our prop bet of the week. I don't normally do this much of a parlay, but like I said, you guys know I like my plus money. So here's what we're going to go with. The fight we didn't talk about, Joaquin Buckley, Razak Al-Hassan. I think there's going to be a finish there. So if you take the fight doesn't go the decision, it's minus 280. That's way too chalky. So you parlay that with the over in the Stephanie Egger and Jessica Rose Clark fight. Again, a lot of those women's fights do go the distance, and they've cashed for us. And I don't know how many weeks that we've taken them here. I remember the Davis Stolarenko fight a few weeks ago that hit. So I think the same thing will happen there. Even with that, you're still not getting plus money. So to get plus money, we're going to throw in a third piece to that. Jonathan Pierce taking on Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez has 7 pro fights. I think he's getting pushed a little too soon. Like Pierce has really improved since losing his UFC debut at UFC Boston. We've seen it pay dividends. He's one of those outstanding fighters that are fight ready. That's really been making some noise in that weight class. I think this is Pierce's fight to lose at -322 steep. But if you parlay all those three together, you get +157. I like my plus money here. What do you guys think of that? Krause, we'll start with you first. And what's your prop bet of the week?
I love that. I love that play a ton. Honestly, I'll probably steal it if you want the truth about it. And I love using Jonathan Pierce as one of those parlay caps. You know what I mean? Like it's something else you guys like. But I'm gonna steal that for sure. But I'm actually I'll give you guys a different pick here. I like Daukaus Pickett does not go the distance. I think either way, I think Daukaus can get him out of there on the ground, and I think Pickett has the ability to knock him out, even though Daukaus is extremely durable. I'll be honest, I don't feel great about the prop pick this week. I feel good about my actual picks, but I'm gonna go Daukaus Pickett doesn't go the distance. If you guys want more out of that, you can put the Pierce fight on that, and I do like what you played a lot.
Okay. And Nick, any props that you're having an eye on this week?
I do. I'd like what you said in the Buckley Hassan fight. I don't think that fight hits the scorecards. I think it's pretty safe, even -285. I mean, if you want to, win $100 on that, I wouldn't blame you. Like to win one unit or so, if the unit sizing is about 100, or if you want to put him in a parlay, put that part of the piece in a parlay. Yeah. I don't think Hill and our boy Walker hits the scorecards either. So if you want, I think that's around -400. So if you want to parlay -400, -285-ish, you're going to bring that way down. It's probably about $1 -160 or so. So maybe find some value there. So those two fights do not go the distance. I think there's value there for those props. Parlay them together.
Okay, awesome. That sounds great. As far as our prop bets of the week, let's get to our bet of the week. It worked out for me a few weeks ago. With taking a dog, I'm going with a dog this weekend. Jim Miller +155. And one thing you guys were telling me off air, and I actually forgot about this, Miller actually opened as the favorite. The money's been coming in on Nicholas Mata for whatever reason. Mata won on Contender Series, but he hasn't a single UFC fight, and he's fighting one of the biggest veterans in the sport. And last time I checked, Jim Miller's still picking up wins at I think 38 years of age. Very well rounded everywhere. I know this looks like a prospect. Well, it is a prospect versus veteran fight, but Jim Miller's still getting it done at his age. I don't know what it is. He's still going out there and improving here, and just the experience. I think you're getting Jim Miller at plus money against a guy who hasn't even fought one UFC fight yet. That to me is great value there. So I'm taking Jim Miller at +155. Nick, your thoughts on that, and what's your bet of the week?
I like it. I think that's the only way you could bet that fight. I don't think you can lay the chalk. What you just said, Miller still has enough life left in him, and his ground game is phenomenal. I mean, if he gets your back, you're in trouble. He gets around your neck, you're in trouble as well. So he has a path to victory and ways to win that fight for sure. So I like that dog price, and I think you're on the right track there for sure.
Okay.
As far as my personal bet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, your bet. Yeah.
My personal bet of the week, I'm going to go with Daukaus and parlay him with Jonathan Pierce. I think both these guys win. I think the prices are both a little bit short. So I think if you parlay them together, it pays around -129. So Jonathan Pierce and Kyle Daukaus both win their fights, parlay them together. I think there's some value there. So I think they both get it done. Yeah,
that hits for sure. I really like that play. Krause, what's your bet of the week?
There's three plays that like we talk about this. Like whenever I look at the card, there's usually like something that I'm like, I like that. Like just I don't have to look at it. It's just boom, I love it. And there's three fights that I love. I love Jonathan Pierce. I love Daukaus, and I'm gonna go with my own guy. I typically try to stay away from my own guys, but I love this fight for David Onama. And I think that given the line is, I think we're sitting at, what is it, -140, -150, somewhere in there right now?
Something around there, yeah.
I like this fight for him. I know the kid, he fought on like 2 or 3 days notice last time out of his weight class. He doesn't get tired going against a guy that's not a strong wrestler. He's going to strike with him, and has not looked phenomenal in his latest fights, and tends to get a little tired. So I think this fight is going to start out extremely competitive, and as the fight goes on, David is just going to pull away, I do think. But yeah, those are my three. I actually I love Nick's play of parlaying Daukaus and Pierce together, and I think I would play David separately. But I'll be honest with you guys, every play that's been given today, I'm like, I really like that a lot. Like I feel like these are all.
And we haven't been able to say that every week, right? So I mean, if this is one of those cards where I think there could be some value on some of those fights for sure, like we kind of mentioned there. So as we're wrapping up the show, everyone, just another reminder: make sure you're checking out BetDSI. Use the promo code UFC, get the match deposit bonus, and get the signed photo from James Krause. No one's doing that. Let's be honest here. And you're getting this show every week, which is awesome too. Gentlemen, by the way, Nick, my condolences. We haven't talked since the Super Bowl. Sorry to hear about your Bengals. They were close, but I got to bring it up. So hope all is well over there. They got a bright future, right? So
yeah, I agree. I'm proud of what they accomplished. So close, man. A couple minutes left, and you go down by 3, whatever. But hey, that's the way it goes. The ball bounces that way, and we were fortunate to be in that spot. But like you said, I think the future is bright. So bet some Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl futures, because I think the next few years are going to be exciting for us.
there we go. All right, for myself, for Nick Kalikas, for James Krause, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights this weekend, and we'll see you guys soon.